Yes, I am. It's recording. Hunger. Let's talk about hunger real quick. All right. What does Dr. Vuong teach you about hunger?
It's okay. It's a good
It's
thing.
It's not hungry.
It's Hunger Games.
It's
Natural.
natural to be what? Hungry. It's unnatural to be Laura. Full. Not F-O-O-L. F-U-L-L. It's unnatural to be full. Okay? But Americans never want to be what? Hungry. And they always want to be what? Full. You're about to see that on Sunday. Here pretty shortly. It's natural to be hungry. It's unnatural to be full. Okay? Which then begs the question, what is hunger? Anyone know?
The body asking for nourishment.
So who said it?
Somebody back there said it, and I said it at the same time.
What'd you say?
The body needs nourishment.
Body needs nourishment. What else?
Fuel.
Lynn?
It needs fuel.
Fuel?
Yep.
F-U-E-L. Not F-O-O-L. F-U-E-L. It's fuel for your body. Is that right? What
Out
else?
of gas. Yep.
What is hunger? Okay. 2. Where does it come from? So, we have a couple places, right? Stomach. Who's ever said this? My stomach growls all the time. Shut up. Shut up. Anyone see Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm dressed like Pedro. I'm not sure why. Am I? I feel bad. I need to put in my mustache. So, all right. So where does it come from? I have this whole chapter in my book, in this chapter, that talks about hunger, right? And physical hunger, your stomach growls, you're tired, you need fuel for your body, etc. You're hangry, you get hangry. Okay. So your stomach makes something called hormones. Not a bad joke. Insert prostitute joke. So your hormones, right? And in fact, we think that the stomach, depending on what you read, is either number 1, number 2 producer of hormones. Because it's a big system, right? Not just your stomach, but your entire digestive tract. So from your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, your 18 feet of bowel, and lots of hormones are created in their digestive tract. So about 2005, they discovered something called the hunger hormone. Anyone know what it's called?
Ghrelin.
Not gremlins. Ghrelin. G-H. Ghrelin. Ghrelin. And what does ghrelin do? Makes you hungry. Pretty simple. So they call it the hunger hormone. And we thought, oh, we found it. We found the holy grail to obesity, the hunger hormone. We figured that if we controlled ghrelin somehow, it would really control your hunger, and then everyone would get skinny. guess where ghrelin is produced primarily? Stomacho. Stomach, right? So you get this surgery called the sleeve. What happens to the sleeve? 75%, 80% stomach. What happens to it?
Bye-bye.
No muss. Patricia, that means no more. Right? No muss. It's gone. So your ghrelin levels go real low. And in fact, studies 5 years ago, 2010, 2012, measuring ghrelin levels, they drop almost down to zero. Not quite to zero, but pretty low. Right? So, show of hands real quick. Raise your hands if you're post-op, already had your surgery, post-op. Whose hunger lasted, like who had a lot of, you had good hunger suppression? Like in surgery, yes? Whose hunger suppression lasted more than a month? Keep your hand up, keep your hand up. Whose hunger suppression lasted more than 3 months? Whose hunger, so there's a couple of people following. Whose hunger suppression lasted 6 months? Anyone 6 months? How about 1 year? You're still at 1 year? Still up? Okay. Who's more than 1 year post-op? Are you a year?
11.
11 months? 11 years?
Yes.
Months. So who here is post-op and still has hunger suppression? That'd be a better way to ask. Because some of you are only 3 months out. Are you still have?
I'm not hungry.
Not hungry. So the 3 months still not hungry? Still not hungry. You still not hungry? So Lori's still not hungry? Martha's hungry all the time?
I'm normal.
Normal. Trust me, you're not normal. Just kidding. Okay. So one of the things that we thought was if we could remove this ghrelin, it would really control hunger, right? And a lot of programs, I'm not making fun of any other programs, they'll tell patients, if you have weight loss surgery, you won't be hungry again, and you'll eat a little bit of food and you'll feel full. Is that true? Who's heard that before? Either from a different program or who's had a friend who went to a different program and they tell you that? Is that true? Is that the truth though?
The beginning.
Not because of the surgery.
It's not the truth, right?
Eat protein.
It's not the truth. Why not? It's natural to what? It's unnatural to be full. So what's happened now, fast forward to 2017. We've done some studies now, and we think there's about 20 to 25 different hormones that somehow regulate satiety. What's satiety mean? The hunger, feeling of hunger, that sort of stuff. Satiety. 20 to 25 now, right? Obviously, ghrelin is a player in it, but it's not a standalone. You understand that? So a good example is that, I know Dr. V is pretty awesome, right? But Dr. V couldn't do what I couldn't do what I do without my team, without the office girls, but also without the OR crew. Would you show up to OR and it's just me there? I'm passing instruments, I'm doing anesthesia. Would y'all be like, okay? Like, no, right? No way, man. So there's probably 20, 25 hormones. Some of the hormones were discovered around the same time by different labs, so they have this different names, but they're actually the same hormone. They're trying to figure that out. All right. So what is this called? Redundancy. Your body is a redundant system. Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Good.
It's a great idea. Why? You don't want to count on one thing, one switch to fail. Does that make sense? That's why you have 4 brakes on your car. What if you only had 1 brake on your car? That would not be so good, right? So you're a redundant system, and you want it to be redundant, right? So Dr. V explains redundancy like this. Y'all write this down. My body is super smart. My body is super, super duper Asian smart. Does that make sense? It puts in other things. It tries to keep me at a balance. Does that make sense? Now, how that affects people, how the surgery affects people is all individualized. Right? Okay. So it's important for y'all to understand this. Am I still on the screen over here? Does it look good over here? Okay. So then, in the book, I talk about 2 types of hunger. Physiological hunger. My tummy growls. I haven't eaten all day. I went for a long hike, bicycle ride with my new boyfriend. I'm hungry. Yes? And then I said, you have to make sure it's not head hunger. Head hunger is stuff like I'm bored.
Yes.
I'm stressed out. Right? Someone yelled at me. I don't feel good about myself.
Yep.
Head hunger. So I said, you have to know the difference. Are you really hungry? Or are you just bored? Right? So, I'm going to try to draw. That's a person-ish sort of person. Alright, you get the idea. There's some legs.
Beautiful.
Not bad, not bad.
It's pre-op. They're pre-op.
Looks like our stomach joints.
Okay? So now you have your stomach go. Your little sleeve baby. You got a bunch. Why? You can't understand my Spanish or what? You have your intestines, your sleeve baby. And then up here, you've got, hold on now, a fat brain. I got it. Someone remind me to write this dang book. This is a good book. You got that fat brain. Okay? So, the physiological hunger, the stomach intestine, these are the 20, 25 hormones are coming out of here. What do they do? What do you think they do? Well, most of them are going to go up to your fat brain, aren't they? And then your fat brain's going to do what? Oh yeah, you're right. It's sending hormones back down. Different parts of your body, but y'all get the idea, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this occurred to me yesterday when I was giving this talk. And I've had to think about it all night. It's kind of bothered me. Basically, pretty much everything that we experience and live through has to go through our brain. Isn't that true? Like even if the stomach produces hormones, it has to have a response in the brain somehow. It might stimulate other hormones, which makes other hormones, which makes other hormones. But then eventually one of those hormones is going to go to your brain and say, go eat. That's ghrelin. Right? And then your brain's got to initiate a thought or something like that, right? So then it occurred to me yesterday that realistically, there is no physiological hunger. Isn't that true? It's all head hunger. It's all head hunger. I get hungry. It's naturally hungry. But where does that thought originate? I'm hungry. Where does that happen? It's my head. Because haven't I had times where my tummy growled? Haven't you had times where your tummy growled and you said, I'm too busy working? Right? But it's not until your head says, I'm hungry, maybe I should eat, that you go eat. Right? So I think for me this was kind of a big breakthrough, which is it's all head hunger. Is that true? So, if that's true, then you have to do this. You have to ask yourself, here's the question. What is affecting, driving, causing my hunger? Why am I hungry? What's causing this? Okay, so I'm going to give y'all some homework. So groups from now on is going to have homework. So we have evolved beyond just the quizzes. Is that true? So now you have homework to do. What is affecting my hunger? So that's the question you're going to have to work on this week. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to go home. I'm going to rewrite this over here real quick. What is affecting my hunger? Yes, y'all got it? Now you're going to draw two columns, because there's always two things, right?
Yep.
One is going to be external. One, therefore, has to be what? Internal. And I want you to write the answers down. And don't censor yourself. Just write it down. I'll give you an example. Let's do a couple. Smell of apple pie.
External.
Is that internal or external? Apple pie. Smell of apple pie. That's external. It goes into your olfactory bulbs. You smell it and say, ooh, that smells good. But does that make you hungry? Maybe, maybe not. What's the internal response, though?
Memories.
Grandma's house.
Yep.
Maybe it's the last time that you saw your grandmother. Maybe that's what y'all always used to do. Maybe that's how you grew up. It was always mom baking pies for dad on Sundays. What's the association?
Feel good.
That's kind of a deeper thing. Television commercials, external or internal? Oh, I wrote it there. So television, right? And not just the commercials, but the TV shows you watch. You watch a TV show where this happy family is sitting around the table sharing food. Are you going to get hungry? Yeah. But why? Maybe it reminds you of your family. Of something. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? These are the little steps, Dolores. Dolori. That y'all have to do. This is the homework you have to do if you want to understand what drives your hunger, if you want to understand what's long-term success. It's not small stuff. This is the first time I ever talked about this internal, external. It's all head hunger. I've kind of given up this idea that we're going to ever find a hormone that's going to fix it, because it's too redundant of a system. You're better off, don't sit there and hope for some surgery to fix it or some pill to fix it. You're better off figuring this out. Because if you don't, post-op, next year, Omar, you watch a football game, you see a commercial, what's going to happen? It's going to make you want to eat. And then you're going to call me up and say, Dr. Vuong, it's only been a year, why am I hungry again? And I'm going to say, watch the video. Watch the video. Does that make sense? Because we forget. We really forget.
That's why learning to
Okay.
meditate helps.
Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah,
different
I'm
topic. So this is your
Counteract.
homework. Can y'all do that? I promise you it's key to do that. That's why I'm kind of videoing these. All right. So then it takes me to this. Where does hunger come from? And what is hunger? Okay, so the question then becomes, who in the world never gets hungry?
Dead people.
In the back. Dolores. Darlene. Who never gets hungry? Gina.
Dead people.
Answer? Dead people. So if you sit there and say, I never want to be hungry again, the only way for that to come true is how? You gotta die. You gotta die and hope you go to heaven. Reality is that we don't really know, do we? So dead people. Does anyone want to die? Nobody wants to die. So are you going to have to learn to deal with your hunger? Yes. So here's what you do. your new mantra. Write this down. I'm hungry, period. That makes me happy. You need to start associating hunger with happiness instead of like some threat, some bad thing, something that's unnatural. Like everybody else is walking around full and I'm the only one that's hungry. But that's what you see in the dieting world. Isn't that true? This is what Weight Watchers teaches, all that sort of stuff. It's just not true. Dr. Vuong gets hungry. So I associate, I'm hungry, that makes me happy. Why? Because it means I'm alive. If you are going to pay $200 for a tattoo this on your butt. Get this tattooed on your tummy. I'm hungry, that makes me happy because it means I'm alive. If you want to meditate on something, meditate on this. If you want to say something over and over and over again, do this. This will save you a lot of trouble, headaches, regrets, anguish. The worst way to learn is how? Anyone know? No. That's a good answer though, I like that. Who said that? Smart woman right there.
Trial and error.
The worst way to learn is someone standing up at you, in front of you, and lecturing at you.
That's true.
90% of y'all, let me say it another way, you guys will forget 90% of this talk. You'll only remember 10% of this talk. So the two things I want you to remember, do your homework, make this column, internal or external, and this mantra. I'm hungry, that makes me happy because it means I'm alive. Means I'm alive. You got it? Job good group this week? Yes. I finished early. Hey! Who's having surgery next week? Raise your hand. Give her some love, everybody. All right. Get out of here.